everybody. Welcome to day 3 of my 5-day challenge. Heal the belief sabotaging your weight loss. Whenever we have weight that we have challenges losing, or our weight is a roller coaster, typically there's always something buried within, churning and burning within us that is getting in the way. It's creating all these blocks, and we end up angry with ourselves or beating ourselves up because we can't heal our weight challenges, when really it's not that you can't heal it, you don't know what's in the way. You don't know what blocks they are that are holding you back. So don't beat yourself up. Don't get mad at yourself. Let's just get to work. This is day 3. Roll up our sleeves and get to work on how to find and start healing these blocks. Now, today I want to talk to you about patterns and the questions you ask, because pattern recognition is a quick way to really discover shadows. Because what patterns are you running that repeat? For instance, when you do you find yourself eating at 8 o'clock at night? And we're not talking about the time where you should never eat past like 3 or whatever. That's not important. Do you find yourself snacking at a certain time of day? Do you find something happening in your life that creates snacking? When I get stressed, I used to always snack on chocolate chip cookies. I can remember the time, I even hate to admit this to y'all, that we went to Subway, and I learned, who knew this, that at 3 o'clock Subway throws away their chocolate chip cookies. And we walked in just to buy one, and we walked out with probably 5 or 6. My coworker ate one and I ate the rest. I had to realize that when I get stressed, I want to eat. So what was it that was creating this need to have food to replace healing that stress? So I had to get to the bottom of my food challenges. So look at what patterns, and it doesn't even have to be with weight loss. It could be patterns you run, period. You get into a relationship and the relationship ends poorly. What pattern are you running? What pattern are you running with your education? Or what pattern are you running at work? You do really well at work, you do really great, you start getting recognition and you kind of back up. And you don't realize that that's the freaky thing about these patterns, is you don't even realize you're running them, because they've become such a part of who you are that you don't realize that's what you're doing. When I'm thinking, processing, I'm a snacker. I walk to the refrigerator, open it up, pull something out, eat it, and walk back. Again, I had to get to the bottom of why I was snacking. What was it that food was representing to me? And what was the shadow behind that, so I could understand what it was. And it just came out that that's just, whenever I would get stressed or something as a child, of course, back then you didn't know what stress was. I was given, food or candy, or, my mom was a very brittle diabetic. So we never had sugar in the house except on occasion. So back then you ate candy when you went into an insulin reaction. So she'd dig out these old gnarly butt candy bars she'd had in her purse for like 3 months, and she would give it to us as a reward. So I started viewing sugar as a reward. I started viewing certain types of food as a reward, because on our birthday we had this type of food. So it became a reward system. And so therefore I had to figure that pattern out and say, okay, Karen, when you're thinking, you don't necessarily need to reward yourself when you have a decent thought with chocolate or with candy. So that's how the patterns run. Now, it takes a while to learn kind of what your patterns are. I always tell people, that coach with me, and if you're interested in coaching with me, I put in the box yesterday to schedule an appointment with me. The appointments are filling up. I don't have the time to do a lot of appointments because I work full time as well. So I only do a couple a week. So let me know if you're interested. But once you learn how to do pattern recognition, it becomes a little bit easier. But sometimes, even when you recognize the pattern, you're like, okay, well, I keep going to the refrigerator when I'm stressed, but why? Or every time I get nervous, I pour myself a drink. Or every time I'm in an outside event, a large outside event, I feel the need to have a drink in my hand and drink to drink. And by the time I'm done at this event, and I had a client that was like this, by the time it was the end of the event, she was pretty smashed, because to her, alcohol represented a way to calm her nerves. Her mother would have a glass of wine at dinner, and it was to calm her nerves. So now she took that to steroids, but that's how these patterns work. We see the basic pattern of have a glass of wine at dinner to calm your nerves and turn it into a full-blown drinking challenge. So, but some of the questions, and I kind of want to review some good, these are the questions I kind of run through with me. When you make a choice, will this choice move me forward in my goals, in my future, or will this choice keep me stuck in the past? So, you know, when you go to do something that you keep repeating, and, you know, with weight, if you keep snacking on food, ask yourself when you reach for that snack, that trusty snack, or that trusty, you know, regular Coke, or that trusty whatever it is, ask yourself, is this going to move me closer to my goal in the future or keep me stuck in the past? Because whenever you set goals, it gives you a destination. It's like, you know, you're sitting in LA and you want to go to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You're not going to be able to just hop into your car and say, oh, I'm going to go to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania and find your way. I mean, you eventually will if you follow signs, but it'll take you way out of your way. Whereas if you get on a map, a road map of how you're going to get there, the straightest, fastest course, then you'll get there faster. So that's why goals work. I know people are like, well, don't lock yourselves in. You don't have to have a fall on the sword goal that if you don't accomplish this goal, life comes to an end. But you can say, you know what, by November 1st, I want to lose 20 pounds. That's a couple months from now. It's a pretty healthy, you know, amount of weight to lose at that time. You're not starving yourself. That way, as you get closer, you can say, okay, you know, I'm 10 pounds away. I got 3 weeks before November. I'm not going to crash diet, so I'm going to readjust. But at least you have a goal. When you have a vision of what you want, it's easier to get that goal. So always have a vision, have a goal, and what's it going to look like when you get there? And just be ready to course correct. But sometimes we have to course correct. Also ask yourself, will this decision bring me long-term fulfillment or short-term fulfillment? I love, like I said, chocolate chip cookies. So, and I'm trying to lose, I want to lose, release 20 more pounds and let it go to get to where I believe is my perfect weight. So I want to release the weight. You don't say lose because you're telling your body you're losing something and your body will shut down because it doesn't want to lose anything. So you want to say release. And I know I've been saying lose weight. I should have been saying release weight. So you want to release weight. So if I eat that chocolate chip cookie, is it going to create short-term or long-term gratification? It's going to create short-term. And then knowing how I am, then I'm going to beat myself up for the next couple of days for doing that. Not healthy. I admit it, not healthy. And I've learned not to do it as much, but I still slip in the patterns. So you still have to always continually be healing these patterns, just nonstop. And then a good one I've talked about in the past, not during this course, but that, you know, I used to be a people pleaser on steroids. If I had one biscuit left and I hadn't eaten in a month, and you wanted the biscuit and you just finished dinner, I would give you the biscuit. I valued people's opinions more over myself. And it just came from my childhood. And, you know, whenever you have abuse in your childhood, being a people pleaser is usually much better than the trauma, the additional hurt trauma that comes from not being a people pleaser. So you have to ask yourself, are you pleasing somebody else, or are you standing your ground and pleasing yourself? Because the goal is to learn how to please yourself and be happy with yourself first. It's kind of like on the airplane, put your oxygen mask on and then take care of everybody else. Another question can be, and this is my favorite, does this choice empower you or disempower you? If you make that choice, is it going to let you stand in your power and feel amazing about yourself? Or 2 minutes after you finish the last bite of that cookie, you're going to start beating yourself up? Because your ego is on the second one. Your ego that we talked about yesterday wants you to beat yourself up. Because when you beat yourself up, you stay in pain. When you stay in pain, you don't move. And if you don't move, the ego's happy. So that's why a lot of times we do things and we say, why do I keep doing this? Because it creates pain. It's because if you create pain, that creates happiness for your ego. Your ego, like I said, wants to keep you comfortable. So does it empower you or disempower you? Is this act an act of self-love or self-sabotage? Again, self-love is loving yourself, being happy with yourself, being comfortable with yourself. Self-sabotage is keeping yourself in pain. The ego wins. So you kind of always, you know, one of the things I do is I always kind of sit back and before I do something and say, If I do this, is my ego winning or am I winning? Who's winning on this one? If I do this, do I feel empowered or do I feel disempowered? Because if I feel disempowered, I'm going to go into that hamster wheel, or I call it really the crazy eight, where over here you're empowered and over here you're disempowered. And so you kind of go like this constantly, but you have a tendency when you get over to disempowered here to kind of move really slow and then get over to empowered and get out of there and get back to disempowered. Because again, your ego wants to keep you safe and not moving forward, just stuck in place. So those are some questions to ask yourself. Take the time and just say, you know, is this going to work for me? Or is this not going to work for me? Is this going to be supportive of who I am or not so much? Because it really is so important to know that this is going to be supportive of who you are. So on your weight loss journey, let's look at your patterns and let's look at the questions you ask yourself. Because if either one of those are negative, your ego is winning. And you don't want that. You want to win. You want to take charge. You want to up-level your life. So when you up-level your life, your ego will come up with you and say, okay, I really didn't want us to lose weight, but we lost weight, so okay. And then it'll figure out another way to sabotage you. It's a never-ending ego person battle. It's just part of being a human on planet Earth. So I hope this helped. Again, if you're interested in coaching with me, let me know. Get an appointment, or DM me and we can chat about it, or you can follow the link. And I'll be debuting an online course coming up soon in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So I'll also let you know that if you're interested, put in the comments that you're interested. It'll be an online course, either with group coaching or more one-on-one coaching. I find shadow work, group coaching can complement it, but one-on-one coaching gets you to the end game faster, gets you healing those shadows quicker. Hope this helped you guys. Let me know if you have any questions, and talk to you all tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.